It has been a hot minute since I've recorded, and I'm feeling all the early feelings of complete and utter awkwardness, but we're gonna push on through. So, hi, YouTube friends. It's Trish here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Today, in a literal corner in my new room. We are not 100% moved in, but we're getting there and we're almost there. So now that I have my furniture in and we're sort of in between places, but I did sleep here for the past 3 nights, so I think we are more firmly at the rental now as opposed to our house. So anyway, I just watched hold on, I didn't finish my thing. Hi YouTube friends, it's Trish here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet, where today I don't know if it was quite necessary to say that and to continue, but whatever. Today I am chatting about the most recent episode of The Bachelorette's Rachael and Gabby season. It was not night one, it was a few night ones, but it is part 1 of Fantasy Suites week. And despite how ominous quite a few of the trailers have been, the first half of this episode, or maybe even a bit more than half, was sort of smooth sailing and seemed to be really good. And I was like, oh my goodness, what about all that stuff they showed us? I guess it's coming. So let's see how to approach this. I don't know if I want to go through date by date and talk about some of the highlights, or if that's just so much to get into, and instead rush on to the meaty parts, I guess, which would be for Gabby, the Eric situation at the end, and for Rachael, well, telling Avon that she's fallen in love with him, but then telling Tino after he did make quite a nice speech that she's in love with him. So where to start, what to say, what to do? As I was watching Gabby's sort of one-on-one time with Eric, I was thinking, wow, this is going really well, and they just seem so in love. I mean, it's hard not to look at scenes of them with sort of their foreheads to each other, or parts of their face just touching each other, but both of their eyes are closed, and it's really just them in that moment, or trying to make it as much them in that moment as they can, because obviously there are cameras and people around, but they're sort of creating and making a little world for themselves within that. And that was so sweet and beautiful to look at. And I feel now that we've seen the sort of ending of the episode conversation that she was having with him, going back and remembering how intimate their goodbye was after his one-on-one time, I feel that she was being as reassuring as she could be in that moment. So it is a little difficult seeing that he sent the note wanting to see her at the bridge, and you would think that it's this cute, sweet little, he just wants to see her so badly, even if it's for a few minutes, and that being sort of the only thing. It's so romantic. And what's tough is, in a way, he is testing her, especially since she said that they've already had this conversation when they were having their complete one-on-one time after the cameras had left. It was just them two and a private moment, and they had the conversation and they talked it through and they talked it out. You know, Eric was saying that it was not his intention in coming and putting her on the spot in that sort of way. And I do want to believe that. I don't think it was a conscious intention. I think he's valid in feeling the way that he does, but because feelings and emotions work differently than logic, you know? You can tell yourself that this is the show and this is the journey that we're on and this is what needs to happen, and you get it. You signed on for this. It's not new information. It is what it is. But it's hard to sort of control and tamper down, or you know what I mean? Like, you can't really tell your heart that, though. So I get that this would be very difficult for him. I think for anybody, whether it's a guy or a girl, it's a difficult situation. You know, the girls went through it last season when Clayton was seeing all three of them, because that is the show. That's how it's laid out. Granted, both Rachael and Gabby were of the mindset, especially Gabby, I feel, that you have your journey, you explore each of the relationship to the furthest you can go, because if it is me, I want to know that there's no question, there's no doubt, there's no what if in any sort of direction. And I do think that it's a type of person that can really feel that and understand that, and then not go down the rabbit hole of just spiraling, which is what Tina was doing and Eric is doing. I get that that's something it's very difficult to do, and I think that for most people, you just spiral. And I think that, anyway, I don't think that that's wrong of Eric to feel that sort of way. I think it is unfair of him to come and bring it up. And again, I don't think he consciously made that decision. I think that maybe it was he just really wanted to see her, and then you can't help but then think that this is just for this moment, and then she's going to go and be with somebody else, possibly feeling the same emotions, possibly growing stronger emotions, and he feels so deeply for her. And it's not that he has other girls that he's talking to, so he can't really divide his mind or compartmentalize his mind in that sort of way. But my heart really goes out to Gabby in that moment, because I'm sure that felt like an attack for him to bring it up. The same concerns, one that I'm sure she thought that they had sort of put to rest and come to some sort of understanding, for him to bring it up again, and this time in front of cameras. I'm sure she felt put on the spot. And it's not like it changes anything, because she has to explore all the relationships. She does have very strong feelings for Eric, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have also strong feelings for, well, in this case, Jason. I just feel really bad for her. I feel really bad for both of them in this situation. I do want to believe that he didn't maliciously go over to test her, because that would just be horrible. But I guess we don't really know. All I can say is he did seem genuine in saying that, gosh, this isn't where I wanted the conversation to go. This is not what I wanted to bring up and what I wanted to happen. I didn't want to put you on the spot. Like, I want to believe when he's saying those things. I want to believe that that's just how the moment ended up going, which is unfortunate. Like, I just want to believe that, yeah, he really did just want to see her. Just wanted a little dose of Gabby to, like, help him move on and get through. And I find it so interesting because up until last week, and I didn't do a video last week, so I didn't really talk on it, but up until last week, the show had been editing Eric in such a way that had me really contemplating just about him, right? They would show us these little snide remarks or these snide comments, and he would, every episode I felt, would say something or look a certain way that it was like, dude. And then last week when we see the one-on-one or the hometown date and fully understand his situation, then it paints him in such a different light. Then you're understanding that, oh my goodness, he's taking this time away from his family during a period such as this. And there was a small part of me I feel like any way that I say this is going to come off a certain way, but I couldn't help but think that, the internet as a whole gave Hayden such shit for leaving his sick dog and at a time like that. And it was really hard for me not to also feel a little bit of the same way. Like, his father, he seems so close to his father, and his family seems like this whole unit, and to be gone at a time like this, I mean, not really even knowing about Gabby beforehand, I feel like there was a contestant before that had somewhat of a similar situation, but over there we had heard from them, I think, that, their parent was like, I want you to still go and live your life and experience your life, and this is a part of it, sure, but don't let it deter you from living your life. And I feel like if we had seen something like that, maybe I wouldn't feel like this about it. I mean, now it's clear that he has deep feelings for her and she has deep feelings for him, so yes, it feels worth the time away at a time like this. But at the beginning of the season, in those first few episodes, he's not getting that much time with her. I don't know. Okay, but I suppose moving on, because I don't know if there's really that much else to say on the whole Eric situation. I don't particularly know where I stand with it all. I think it's an unfortunate, just way their journey is going. And I understand Gabby. I understand how she feels. And I understand the walls and barriers sort of going up, because it does feel somewhat like he's forcing her hand in a certain way. And that's not how you should feel in a loving relationship. So I want to hope that he wasn't intentionally doing that, but I don't know. Only he knows. Okay, but moving on, the whole Rachael and Tino situation, it was kind of funny to see Jesse talking to Tino and then Rachel on Avon's date, and sort of the correlations between the conversation that he's having over there and that she's having with Avon. I mean, he's hoping that how his hometown went will not deter her from moving forward, and she's over there sort of gushing with Avon on how well their hometown went. And one of, or the main thing she wanted to feel was acceptance, understanding that, you know, some people might think, oh my goodness, what is going on, but still accept her and what they're going through. So, and she didn't get that from Tino's family. She felt very attacked at Tino's home. And in the beginning of their one-on-one time, it kind of felt that Tino just feels very young in a lot of respects when it comes to sort of the committed relationship that they both believe that they're headed towards and want to have. You know, Rachel was putting emphasis on the importance that she needs to have the conversation with him on, okay, it doesn't seem like your family is going to really support. So can I even trust that this can go to an engagement when you clearly don't have your family support? Which I thought was a really interesting take on this, because it has this very, all right, is it going to be us against the world sort of vibe, which is, it's a vibe. And there are some couples like that. I don't know if that's really the approach we should be going for. I would hope that it's, okay, is this something that together we can help your family to understand that it is real for us? But maybe she's thinking more of, okay, we have a week left. Are you actually going to propose knowing that your family isn't accepting of me? And clearly an engagement is very important to both Rachel and Gabby. It's why Gabby sort of breaks things off with Johnny, and she does sort of put him on the spot to make a sudden decision on, can you see yourself getting there in a week? Which I did find interesting. I'm not sure why that was so important for her to really hear verbally from him before she let him go. Because I do understand that she feels it so completely from Eric and Jason. But yeah, she just, I guess, needed to hear, maybe just so it gave her giving or letting Johnny go validation. Like, there is a verbal reason as opposed to just going on a feeling, because I think up until then she's feeling that Johnny might not be at the same level that she's at, but she has not heard him say that. And so to hear him actually verbalize that maybe makes her feel a bit more right in her thinking, and it allows her to sort of let him go. And I can't fault her for that. I think it's nicer to then be able to say that, you know, like, you yourself said that you don't see yourself getting to an engagement, and that's where I'm at in my life. And though I do really like you and you really like me and the feelings of love are blossoming and it's there, it's not enough. So theirs at least was like, it wasn't a gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching sort of breakup. I think he still was like, there goes my lady or something like that while she was walking away from him. So there's still and easygoing nature between them, which, that's sweet. Interesting, but if you're gonna have a breakup, I think that's a nice way to go about it. I don't know. Um, but in the whole, sorry, going back to the Tina and Rachael situation, at first it felt like he wasn't convincing her. He wasn't getting there. And honestly, it wasn't really convincing me either, because he's like, oh yeah, they'll accept you. Like, there's no question about it. It's fine. And then she tells him that your dad said that he made a comment about how if you come back engaged, okay, he's not going to disown you, but, he doesn't really support it. And Tina looks so surprised at hearing that. And we got a little bit of him saying that it seems there's not always a great understanding between him and his dad. So, I don't know. He did go on to make that speech, which was very much, it was very flattering for Rachael to hear, because he's talking about how wonderful she is, and once they are given that chance to really get to know who she is, there's no way they won't love her. I mean, that's a lovely thing to hear. And clearly it was, because they got Rachael to the point where she could say, okay, I love you. I'm a little worried over there, just because she had such a nice time with Avon and told him that she's falling in love. And I get it, there are levels in the Bachelor world, but what if other contestants don't know about those levels, And I feel like when you're telling someone that you're falling in love with them, you're practically saying that you're basically there. Like, right? If you're falling in love with somebody, then you're basically on the verge of it. It's almost like you just want to hear it back to be completely in that camp. I don't know. I think Tina was her first choice from night one. And I think for a lot of us ladies, it's a little difficult to move attention anywhere else from that first initial thought. Sometimes when you're dating someone and you're getting to know them, you hold on to your first instincts, your first impression of them, even if what they're showing after that is not matching up, because you feel that, well, they were like that then, so they can get there again. It does not work that way. So anyway, I'm not saying that that's the case here with Tino. I'm just saying that I think it would be difficult for her to really sway her heart in a different direction when she felt so strongly and deeply for Tino kind of right off the bat. And sure, his family is a speed bump, but hey, he's telling her that she's amazing, so okay. So other than that, next week, what we have to look forward to, or I guess not next week, tonight, or I'll see it tomorrow, but anyway. So Johnny had a one-on-one chat with Jesse, and it sounds like he doesn't see himself getting engaged, which is like kind of fine in my opinion. They're still getting to know each other. I wish that the show would take the pressure off them a little so they can just continue to date. I mean, I'm okay with that being the end goal rather than an engagement. An engagement actually sounds kind of ridiculous, but whatever. All of that aside, it kind of sounds like he's not even really at the gates of falling in love. That was a little bit of a surprise. You know, and I feel that it's as big a surprise to me because of how completely loved and cherished Gabby feels being around Jason. It's one of the things that she had in her ITM conversation after letting go of Johnny is that the way she feels around Eric and Jason, it just can't be compared. And it's that sort of love that she's looking for. She wants to be loved for who she is. And she feels that from them. So to hear him say that, you know, he definitely has strong feelings for her, and it potentially could lead that way, but he's not there yet, and he's in the fantasy suites week. I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever come across this before on the show before, so I don't really know quite how to feel about it other than shock, just because of how Gabby talks about their relationship and how they are, and from what we've seen, I mean, what town were they in where she was wearing that, I mean, killer black outfit, and they were sort of going about the town? It was a group date. She was wearing this skirt top, and the top had sort of long sleeve. Anyway, you know, and the way he was talking about her over there, and it wasn't just about her outfit, the way he was also talking about her, I felt like he was pretty much head over heels. So I don't know, I'm a little surprised to hear him say that. And maybe it's just because there's been time now since he's actually been in the vicinity with her. I suppose. I don't know. Oh my god, this bra strap. I am so sorry, guys. I'm trying to get comfortable in this seat, but it is comfortable to sit in, but it's difficult to figure out how to look good on camera sitting on this seat. I love this chair. It's a love seat and it's mine, but at our previous place it was sitting downstairs and I hardly sat on it, and now I finally have it just in the corner of my room. I've been looking forward to this for these videos, but my bed is literally right here. Like, this is my post. So I had the camera sitting on my bed at one point, but that looked too far away, so I moved it here. And anyway, we're still figuring stuff out. Who knows, I might have the camera placed over here next time. I'm not even sure, but I did want to sit on this chair for these videos, and it is comfortable to sit like this, but I gotta worry about my bra strap. Anyway, yeah, so to look forward to tonight, how things go with Gabby and Jason, how she continues with Eric after that conversation last night, how Rachael continues on with Zach. Apparently something's gonna happen over their private time together that's gonna be a 180 for him and change everything. I don't know, other than her sort of maybe telling him that, hey, I told Avon I'm falling in love, and I told Tino that I love him. I don't know. So we'll see over there. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I'm a little nervous. The only thing I can say is I've heard about how they've been in some interviews and it seems like they're happy and that they're in love, so I am gonna hold on to that thought as we continue watching, because right now I'm a little worried. Just a little worried. But you know what? No. After the show and everything, they are happy and they are good, and that's all that matters. So, for this video, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll do another one tomorrow after I watch the episode, but we'll see because busy. But I really wanted to chat a little bit, and I will find my video legs again soon, hopefully. Okay, toodles.